She wants to dance. She wants to move. She wants to dance. She wants to move. Yeah. So I asked her, what brings her emotions? She said it's a little bit of potion and passion when dancing. Have you ever seen a pretty girl cursing? With a body though, is she rehearsing? Every day when the family's fighting, half of it's her, the other half she learned. Now she moves so bold like a cowboy hearsing. Ring ring frosting, king of the queen like gently upstring. Combination of both, the pain and love. It makes it tough for you and never wanna be cry. Sing on. Now I hope so, that everything's yellow like Pete on snow, and everything's solid like rocks of gold. She's the awakened light that she dreams on. She's got the move and got the love, and now she's hoping she can go on and long. She wants to dance. She's got the move and got the love, and now she's hoping she can go on and long. She wants to dance.
Thank you so much for joining us on our second episode this week of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick.
I'm Andrew.
And that was She Wants to Dance of NDMA's debut EP entitled 505. He'll be performing at Blues Fest on Saturday, July the 6th. He recently held his album release party at Mercury Lounge last weght. It was a ton of fun. It was really packed. What did you think of it, Sharif?
I thought it was a great time. The energy was great. He did a great job.
It was packed. I was, for a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, it was awesome. So you can get the album for free at ndma.bandcamp.com. So follow him on Facebook as well.
That's important to announce. That's N as in Nancy, not MDMA like the drug.
That's right. He has been also working on remixes of Drake, Rihanna, Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake, so he'll fit all your kind of styles that you're looking to do. So we have a jam-packed show today. We have 3 guests with us. We have Sharif and Mike from Creative Mornings Ottawa.
Hey guys.
And we have Matt Carmichael from the new coming out restaurant El Camino that will be launching very soon on Elgin Street. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, as always, with Lunch Out Loud Ottawa, we want to get to know our guests a little bit before because you know them from what they do at their jobs or how they're known here in Ottawa. But we don't necessarily get to know them as the people. So, Mike and Sharif, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, like why you're still in Ottawa, your favorite aspects of Ottawa, that kind of thing.
I think Ottawa, a lot of people talk about it, but Ottawa's at a really exciting time right now. And in some ways, I think a crossroads. I think actually we're past that crossroads and we're on the upswing in many ways. But I think those crossroads, or the crossroads happened about a year ago, at least for me. I'm a designer in the city, and I've been in the city for about a decade now. So I've kind of seen...
from?
I've been in Ontario, originally from Waterloo, but I've been in Ontario, yeah. But yeah, I studied design here in Ottawa, and I think I kind of got a chance to see people's attitudes change and the overall energy and perception of what the city has changed a lot lately. And I wondered if that was just because I got more involved in things like Creative Mornings and kind of you're on the ground, you're there in the trenches and you see things that are happening. But the more people I talk to, the more I realize that that's not actually the case and there is something tangible that's happening in the city. So for me, Ottawa's an exciting place, particularly in design where before you'd look at it as a place you want to get the hell out of as soon as you can because there's nothing happening, and like if you want to make it, you got to go somewhere else. But
said a lot of artists used to flee the city.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone's
start
like,
here and then off they go, right?
Screw Ottawa, right? I got to go to Montreal, I got to go to Toronto, I got to go to New York, and then I think a lot of people are now of the opinion that it's a fantastic opportunity to do something in the city, right? So it's a blank canvas in many ways, and I think that's something that we really took to heart with Creative Mornings. It's like no one's doing anything, so instead of complaining about it, let's actually do something about it. Let's build the community here. Let's get more momentum. And I think, us along with many other people in the city have taken that perspective that's been really healthy for doing things. Even what you guys are doing, like this didn't exist before. Yeah. So the traction, the fact that people are talking, the fact that people are engaged is really exciting for me. And as a designer in the city, it's no longer, a fact of how quickly can I get out of here and then maybe come back, but maybe not, right? So now it's really, what can we build here? What can we do? How can we shape this city? So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What are some other restaurants? Like what are some other activities that you did like in Ottawa before you found Creative Mornings Ottawa?
So I studied industrial design, which is product design, and then that's kind of a small community in the city that very much wasn't really engaged. Like the kind of creative community that you see is very much sort of the graphic designers and that kind of thing, the people that are more, on the scene. But I started a web company maybe 6 years ago now called SpecialsToday.ca, which launched in Ottawa maybe 4 years ago. So that's something that I did. And that involved restaurant deals. Not something that, the business itself was interesting. The product for me personally isn't all too exciting.
So it's similar as like Groupon and
it's basically it's Thursday night. I'm in the market.
Right.
I want cheap beer.
Yeah.
Who's got it and where's the closest place to get it?
Right on.
Was there an app for that?
Yeah.
I think I had that app.
Yeah, there's an iPhone app for that.
Cool.
So that was something fun to do. And then right now I'm finishing up my master's in design, researching some next level stuff. So it's keeping me pretty busy.
Think you'll stay in Ottawa after?
That's the idea. Like all this, people talk about social capital. The fact that you know people, you know what's going on, being part of something, it really changes your perspective on your environment. So the idea of moving somewhere else and starting from scratch is exciting in some ways, but it's like you're building momentum here, building on something. So to leave right now, I think would be a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think Ottawa is going to be the place to be. And
totally, yeah. So I think, So for me right now, it's like you can move somewhere else and then be one of 15,000 people in the exact same position as you, or stay here, capitalize on what you're doing in the city and what's happening in the city as well, which is huge for me. Yeah.
Exactly.
And what about you, Sharif? Where are you from?
I'm actually Ottawa born and raised. And,
right on.
I'm an environmental scientist, but I come from a tech and media family background, so always kind of been involved a bit in the creative stuff, and so I've always had that edge to what I do. And I think I really echo what a lot Mike said, but I won't go into too much detail. But I think what I'll say is, I was fortunate enough to travel a lot as a kid, so I remember, flying back into Ottawa and having this dreary feeling of like, oh no, we're back again. And it's so depressing. I did a short stint out in Vancouver for a few months, and I remember when I moved back home, I didn't have that feeling coming back into Ottawa. I was excited to go back to Ottawa and start participating in all these interesting things that that I heard was happening. So I think that's a perfect way to describe kind of the track Ottawa's on. It's no longer that dreary city that you're sad to come back to. It's kind of that city that you're excited to start contributing to and helping it grow, and just building on what Mike said, social capital, trying to increase our social capital in the city and put ourselves on the map internationally, which I think we've been doing a really great job of, and I think we can continue doing as well.
Did you see that sort of stuff in Vancouver while you're in Vancouver? The creative minds.
I think there's always that West Coast vibe, so it's a little bit different from what you have here, and it's a lot more laid back. I think in Ottawa, everyone's always go, which is great because it's great for getting things done, and that's amazing. But you do see that kind of different cultural centers in Vancouver that we start to see now. You have like the Elgin area, you have the Market area, you have Westboro, and there's always something a little bit different about each one, and something that makes it special. And you definitely had that in Vancouver, and we're starting to see that in Ottawa, and I think it's great because they all feed off each other, and it adds distinctive flavors to the different areas of Ottawa.
Yeah. So what else do you do besides creative stuff? What do you do for fun? Any activities or whatnot? That obviously you've lived here for enough time, you must.
Yeah, a couple things that I have my hands in, but work takes up a lot of my time. So I'm working for an NGO right now, and I used to be working in clean tech under renewable energy. So that was an interesting world to come from. The high tech kind of clean tech world is really straight edged. Not too much room for creativity versus now working in the NGO world where budgets are stretched and you have to come up with innovative, creative ways to do things just out of necessity. So that keeps me on my toes. I'm also involved in Young Environmental Professionals, so that's kind of a burgeoning movement in Ottawa. Getting the youth involved in environmental groups, not just in terms of finding jobs, but also how can they contribute to making Ottawa more sustainable. Mm-hmm. Something else we have on the horizon is the Ottawa Food Truck Rally you might have heard of, so keep your ear out for that. And that's something that me in tandem with Fancy Boys and Thomas are going to be putting together in June or so.
Very excited for that.
Keep your ear to the ground for that.
That's supposed to be about 10 new food trucks or something? 20?
20 new ones, yeah. 24, I think. 24.
I can't wait for all of that. Speaking of which, we are, thank you so much to Kitchissippi, and we are testing out their new soda that they'll be coming out with April 29th. It's called Harvey and Vern's. So right now we're testing out a cream soda and a ginger beer. And from what Matt says, this is a better kind of soda for you because the sugar, right?
Yeah, for a bunch of different reasons, local and all that stuff. But it's, it's not a high fructose, glucose sugar. It's a cane sugar, and there's not a lot of preservatives or coloring. So it's a good product.
Yeah, it is.
Like even in this ginger beer, you can really taste the actual ginger and ginseng in it. I mean,
It's spicy for sure.
yeah,
Spicy.
it's got some kick to it.
Some flavor.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit healthier. I feel more awake
Yeah.
maybe a little bit.
And actually, this episode we are recording at Hub Ottawa. So, in case you haven't heard of what Hub Ottawa is, can you tell us a bit about?
I'll
what
let
this
Mike take that
program-
one because his girlfriend's actually one of the founders.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard about it a lot, and I've never been here either. This is my first time.
So
It's
this is
pretty cool.
What do you think about it?
It's
Brady?
awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I'd come here to work.
This
This
is-
here and sitting at home in my office. So.
Yeah, so I mean, Hub Ottawa is geared towards exactly those people that are sitting in their basement or at a coffee shop trying to mooch coffee and Wi-Fi all day long, right? So it's a co-working space for entrepreneurs, people that want to network, people that want to meet other people in the city. You pay a membership fee depending on how much access you want. It's right downtown. And
What are the ranges for the membership fees?
like between $50 and $400 for
I think,
unlimited or so.
30s to about 400. So if you want to have your whole office
cool.
based here, unlimited, 24-hour access, you can have everyone in your company located here for about 400.
I mean, it is a tax write-off either way, right? So it's for
Yeah,
your
and I
business,
think
so.
the real thing is the energy. I mean, we're in a
Never
meeting
thought of it that way.
We're in a meeting room right now, but there are about 30 people out there.
Yeah, it looks busy.
Kind of, bumping heads in a good way, and the collaboration's key here.
And there's several great events that are put on here. If you're
Yeah.
a member, if you're not a member, just a lot of good collaboration, a lot of good entrepreneurial minds, and
Yeah, we should say like Creative Mornings is our headquarters, if you will, for Creative Mornings. It's
Their
kind
first one here.
Yeah, it's where we did our mulling over of how we're going to approach this as well. So our next one's here on March 29th with Ian Capstick of Media Styles. We're going to release tickets for that on Monday.
Okay.
So we haven't announced that, so we're announcing that here. Theme is reuse. Ian's going to be talking about how to reuse a brand, how to refresh a brand. Most people take the traditional, most chapters are taking the traditional approach to reuse and talking about recycling. We wanted to do something a little bit different. So we're going to talk about reusing in terms of your branding and your strategy.
like it.
That's cool.
I'll be there
So
for
what else? This creative mornings that you came out. How'd you guys come up with that idea? Is it something that you?
Yeah, so Creative Mornings, I guess, so me and Mike are old high school friends. And when I came back from Vancouver, I noticed, a ton of different changes, and Mike introduced me to the Hub, and I was like, you know what, this is a great time to apply for this chapter of this group that I had heard of a few years back. And so I showed it to him, Creative Mornings, and we put our application in I think, February.
Yeah, it started in Brooklyn, 2009. That was the first chapter.
Yeah, started by this designer named
cool.
Swiss Miss. There's about 40 chapters around the world now.
Oh wow.
And we got our chapter approved in late April, and we had our first one here in June. So what it is a monthly breakfast lecture series for creative people. It's free. The idea is to inspire you before you go to the office. So you come into here at about 8:30 or wherever the location is. You get to have some breakfast and mingle. We provide the breakfast and coffee,
It's all free, which is
key.
That's
which
great.
Is great.
people, yeah.
If you're working for yourself or you don't have a huge budget, or if you're trying to convince your boss to give you that extra half an hour off work, mentioning that it's free really helps. So that's why we try to keep
absolutely.
everything that we do free. So the speaker comes on at about 9 for about 20 minutes, and then we have a 20-minute Q&A. And we generally try to have someone from that topic or someone who works in that industry curate the Q&A, just to make it a little bit more topical and relevant.
So, who have been some of your past guests that you've had on in Ottawa that people might know?
Yeah, I think what we really try to do is to represent creativity in its broadest sense. So we really don't want it to be about any specific discipline. Our first speaker was an architect.
Nice.
We've had Steve Beauchesne from Beau's Beer talking about designing a brewery.
was my first one that I went
we've
to.
had the girls from Victoire Boutique talking about entrepreneurship and fashion entrepreneurship. We had someone from the Happiness Lab at Carleton University. Some guy named Matt Carmichael as well was on there talking about food and culinary creativity. So I think that it represents
Tattoo artist too.
tattoo artist Julian Garner.
Garner,
Yeah, so I think
That's
that
2 episodes in a row now that we talked about Julian.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
comes up a
Yeah,
lot.
Norma was talking about him yesterday too.
Yeah, I have an appointment with him next week.
Oh, do you?
If he returns my email.
I was gonna say I need to go book one too.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's the best one, I guess.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Colorful character. But yeah, so Creative Mornings, the way we look at it is that it's not for your traditional creative. So you don't have to be a graphic designer or a writer or a musician. You could be a policy worker. You could be working in advocacy. We just want anyone who approaches their work from a non-traditional point of view or an out-of-the-box approach to come and get inspired and to see a different point of view and how a different thought process and a different workflow.
And also to see that there are other people like you.
Yeah, to see that there are
That's-
other people
like if
exactly.
you're working in policy.
So refreshing.
Yeah, it is refreshing. You're working in policy, you have all these outward ideas, then you can maybe connect with somebody else in Industry Canada or somebody else in Finance Canada and maybe start some collaboration. So when you are moving up the government chain, maybe some different options to go forward.
That's what we're most proud of. The fact that it happens every single month, and we feel that we're building a community. So you see familiar faces. It's consistent. You can depend on it. It's not going to go away. Like, we have to do it every single month. Right?
Yeah,
so,
we're legally.
Yeah, like that's it. So every single month.
Just like we are for Lunch Out Loud Ottawa.
Yeah.
We're not going away.
No,
Unless they cancel it.
once a week at least.
But and the corporate community and the business community locally has been really supportive in terms of donating food and coffee and things like from Artisan to Bridgehead.
Right.
Magpie Jewelers is one of our biggest supporters, and they've just been great at driving creativity in Ottawa. Terra 20 is a sponsor for the new one. They've been also really excited about Creative Mornings and just talking about it and getting together with us to see collaborations. And it's been really helpful. And if your organization would like to get involved, email us at creativemornings.com. But it's just a great thing, and it's a great feeling. And just building on the inspiration kind of aspect, I think one of the reasons we've been so successful is Ottawa's kind of been hit, a little bit by an economic downturn in the past few years with, the government layoffs and whatnot. And people have been forced either by necessity or either by a little push and a shove by the packages they've got to kind of pursue their passions and pursue something that they might not have been driven to before. And sometimes it's hard, it's not as easy. So to come out and hear other inspiring stories and kind of winning stories, if you will, it's really great. And I think that's really helped a lot of people that we know that are kind of starting their own business. And I think maybe I can think of probably about 5 or 6 people that in the past 6 months have gone off on their own to start their new business. Like, you guys had Susie Kendricks from Lily Bell.
Yeah.
She's a huge supporter for Creative Mornings.
Yeah.
And she's actually just joined our Creative Mornings team.
Oh,
so
perfect.
we should mention it's not just us. We do have a team of volunteers and people that work with us. So
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having us here at Hub Ottawa.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next Friday. So, of course, Monday, sign up. They do sell out pretty
11
fast.
a.m. Yeah.
11 a.m. They do sell out pretty fast.
Sorry, you have to go right to the website to sign up. That's the easiest.
it's creativemorningsottawa.eventbrite.com.
You can find us on Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter as well.
Facebook, Twitter, at Ottawa_CM. Best way to do it. If you ever have any questions, hit us up. We're pretty good on social media. We should also mention the reason why we're drinking Harvey and Burns is that they're sponsoring a charity event that we're doing in partnership with the Ottawa School of Art and the School of Photography on April 5th at Junction. And that's to raise 2 scholarships to each institution. So our Creative Mornings plan was a 3-step process, kind of establish brand equity, establish a community, and now give back a little bit. So we're truly trying to give back to the youth, get them involved in the arts, and then that's why we're doing that. So there's going to be, I think it's $7 tickets, don't quote me on that. We're going to release the info on that. And it's going to be at Junction on the 5th with some live art, sponsored by Wallix, who's going to be helping with the live art process. Robbie from Fall Down is going to be doing that. And 3 artists are going to be Zoo Legacy. All the guys from Silk and Lawman will be there playing. And NDMA also will be playing as well. So that'll be a great night.
Awesome. That'll be a good time for sure.
All right, so we're going to listen to one last song, Never Be the Same from NDMA, and then we'll be right back with Matt Carmichael. So it's going to be very exciting in about 1 minute. So we'll see you back in just a moment.
All right, so we're back, and again,
If a chemical man's a synthetic bond at a very first glance, gotta let it go. Gotta feed my yarn from atomic ion to a molecule, gotta let it go. She's a plasma type, don't burn your highs hotter than the sun, rustle let it grow. She'll take your heart and break it apart, maybe 2 times. Hard to hard, I'm telling you. Gravity says everything gotta fall. If not be secure, her mind is secure. In the face of a lake when God's in gold. The I'm so gold, got a little bit of aqua, a little bit of reach, yeah, a little bit of acid. This is like sleep, burning my guts into my soul, so we dance to the beat. The last in the heat of the moment we found, got lines in the street. Found our dreams and we live to the fullest. Even though that the end was near, face of fears, blade of tears. You only live once, it's the name of the film. Why? But you smell like blue rain. Soft to the color, but she's still sweet.
all right, so we're back, and again, that was NDMA with Never Be the Same. Pretty good tune. So we're sitting here just over the break while we were listening to that. Sharif, you were mentioning something about the drinks that we're having now and some possible cocktail
for sure.
concoctions.
We were talking about the flavors and whatnot, and the different things you could do with this drink. And why we decided to bring Harvey and Burns on as a sponsor for our Creative Mornings event on the 5th was that we thought it would be a great opportunity to sell some sort of specialty cocktail to attribute funds to the scholarship. So we actually have the mixologist and bar manager at Urban Pear, Beth Ann McLaren, who's going to be working with us on Saturday. It'll be an interesting afternoon, coming up with some different drink cocktails that we can sample and try. And that whole process we're actually going to film, so I think it'll be an interesting video. And we're going to launch that on our Creative Mornings blog, which will be coming out next week as well.
All right. Awesome, that's great. So we're here with Matt Carmichael. For those of you that don't know Matt, you might have eaten at some restaurants over the past few years, say the Social, 18, more recently the Side Door. So Matt, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So a little bit where you're from. Were you born and raised in Ottawa, or?
Born in Toronto, but just briefly, and then Ottawa Valley, Ottawa, university here. I've got a cottage about an hour from here, so that's why I like
whereabouts?
Base myself. Just past Arnprior.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So school-wise, where'd you take up
Went
school?
to university at Ottawa U, human kinetics, and then it just, I wanted to be I wanted to be a phys ed teacher, have the summers off, play golf kind of thing.
I used to want to do that too.
Human kinetics, it was a little bit too science-oriented for the way my mind works, so I transferred into a program and specialized in tourism, and then wrote my thesis on food and tourism from a Canadian perspective. So that's how I kind of segued into food.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend that liked to cook too, so I don't come from a food background or a food family. I just
like your father wasn't a chef or anything?
No,
like
that? So it kind of found me and just didn't let go. Really.
That's cool. Did you work in other restaurants prior to that? Or?
Yeah, like I used John Taylor in the thesis work.
Okay.
From Domus Cafe.
Okay.
So John, he was the first guy in Ottawa using local farmers. Like this guy had local farmers on his payroll. This is 15 years ago, 16 years ago, 17 years ago. So and that was kind of a regional Canadian cuisine, kind of like defining Canadian cuisine back then. That's where any kind of cuisine finds its roots, is in local seasonal stuff. So we just clicked, and I ended up leaving the Canadian Tourism Commission, which, to my parents' dismay, and told them I was going to go into the kitchen and start cooking. And then,
how old were you when you made that decision?
Like 25, kind of thing.
What was their reaction?
They just.
I'm sure most parents picture their kid flipping burgers or something like that when you say you're going to go work in the kitchen, right?
Absolutely, and at that point it was before any kind of celebrity chef thing or any kind of Food Network thing, or food wasn't a respected kind of career. It was a fallback career. Criminals and people with no, but seriously, it was. People that couldn't get into college or university would become a cook because there was very little skill set, and you'd work for low wages. So went into that, and then it just kind of clicked with me. And I had the opportunity to work with John shoulder to shoulder for about 4 years, and then moved to Toronto, like most people do, like we were talking earlier. Most people will go away, but I choose to come back. I came back to Ottawa, so I went away for about 8-9 years to Toronto, worked with some really cool chefs in Toronto, and then came back because I always wanted to come back to Ottawa, for the cottage and for lifestyle. But what I found in Ottawa is I'm sure it's similar to any medium, is that you look at a magazine and you look at a chef and their dish and their restaurant, and you make it up to be something in your head, and you go and experience it's great. But I've got to the point in my life where at this point now, not 10, 15 years ago, but at this point right now, there's food going on here in Ottawa that is just as product-wise, farmer access to farmers, and then seafood from BC and restaurants that are happening now in Ottawa that are all put up, shoulder to shoulder with restaurants in Brooklyn or New York or LA or wherever.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, and that's something that we take pride in. I think in our city now is how many great restaurants that we have.
Yeah.
And that's something I always like to ask people, and I couldn't actually wait to ask you. So where do you like to eat besides your own places? Obviously you cook all the time. So what are a few hot spots that you like to go to?
Well, to open your own restaurant, it's a great fantasy and all that stuff, but it's going to be a daunting project to own your own business, because it's fun to cook and have a cool space, but it's a business too, right? So that's daunting for me. But the reason I'm doing it is because I think there's a need for this kind of restaurant, because it's going to be a restaurant that I like to hang out at and food that I like to eat. But where I like to eat now these days, I like ethnic foods. I'll hit Chinatown for sure. I like a good pizza. I like just really casual spots. Supply and demand. We went. It's great. Like it's not the type of place. It's the kind of food that I like to eat these days. Like I'm getting a little bit older, so I can't eat the pork bellies anymore. The big fatty food. So I like the raw for sure. I like small plates. So any kind of restaurant that's doing really good food that way, I'll go to.
Local vegetables.
Local when can. Like it doesn't have to be local all the time. Like we live in Ottawa, so local.
It's seasonal right now is not.
For sure.
So do you want to tell us more about El Camino and where it's going to be? What your idea is? Because you're taking there is a lot of steps that you're doing to make it your own.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I can't I oversaw 3 restaurants in the market, and they're great restaurants, but I found that I wasn't cooking for the people that I wanted to cook for anymore. It was more of an occasion restaurant, let's say, or kind of a high heeled kind of maybe martini crowd or a corporate function or weddings and stuff like that, which every city needs those, but I felt that it wasn't a place that I'd want to go to. So this is the first opportunity for me to kind of take control of the way you feel when you're in the restaurant, like the way you feel when you're walking to Hub Ottawa. Like it's a really laxed, kind of casual,
very comfortable.
Very, very comfortable space. And I like taverns. Like I like the Carlton Tavern. I love Whalesbone for sure. Like I love Elmdale. So really, to me, it's the way. Like the food is almost the easy part, if that doesn't sound too arrogant, because I just like sourcing out great products and letting them stand, really, right? But it's the way you feel when you're in this space. So for me, this the opportunity to control the delivery of that service or that beverage or that food product, that's inspiring to me.
So what can we expect at El Camino? What kind of food?
So everything's
sounds very Mexican.
Yeah, so it's like so I'm saying like tacos for sure. We bought this like crazy taco machine that's going to make the shells from the States.
So hard and soft, or
mostly soft. We'll do a couple of hard, but mostly geared towards soft because this machine's made like it's a fresh tortilla dough.
Gotcha.
So maybe 5 or 6 tacos for sure. A good guacamole, a good cheese dip.
I was reading a little bit about the guacamole.
Yeah.
That apparently it was you're basing it on a famous guacamole. Where was it now?
It was here in Ottawa. It was Ironwood Cafe.
Ironwood, that's it.
Yeah,
apparently it was the best guacamole around.
It was written like worth driving across town for, and I wish that restaurant was still here, because if that restaurant was still here right now,
you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
What makes a good guacamole? I mean,
good avocados for sure.
Yeah,
properly stored, like room temperature, ripened room temperature. It's just you gotta have the right amount of salt, like a good crunchy salt. I like a good amount of onion, not too much onion, because you never taste it. Sometimes it just tastes like onion afterwards.
Yeah,
people chop them up too big, and so like lemon, coriander, that kind of thing.
Awesome! I'm excited to try it.
And then also for sure a raw component. So I love eating raw. And Steve Wall at Supply and Demand is doing a good little raw menu there. So we're going to do something similar. We'll have a good albacore tuna, a good scallop crudo, a good spot prawn tartare, a good beef tartare, that kind of thing.
I was reading that, and I was just getting starving as I was reading. I'm a big seafood fan.
In the Ottawa Citizen back in August, you listed there was about 5 or 6 things that you wanted to see, that you had a vision for when you're creating this restaurant.
Yeah.
How has that transpired? Have you kept those 6 visions, or have things changed over time?
No, it's coming together. Like I don't think it's ever going to be like when it comes to fruition. The restaurant's not going to be what you initially thought it would be, but that's exciting if you're working with the right trades or the right designers or whatever. But we want everything at bar height, so there's going to be a kind of a peninsula kind of bar where the server can walk in the middle of it, and you can have all the bar stools around. And then
more community eating.
Yeah, community, but just bar. Like I
high tops and whatnot.
Yeah, high tops, but a big bar, like 30 people at the bar.
That's awesome.
Because I always go to the bar. I don't know why.
I'm the exact same way. No matter what restaurant, right in beeline to the bar and sit up there. And I find you can converse more with people that
100%.
way.
I mean, maybe if it's your anniversary or something, you're gonna sit with your wife or partner or whatever, and have some intimacy. But I just like there's more action, there's more energy at the bar. So we wanted to capture that. And then, so I think everything's coming together that way for sure. Lighting too, actually. Lighting's a big deal. I hate when you see all these beautiful colors in the kitchen when you're cooking, or like the colors of this pop here today. It's lost when it's in a dark dining room.
Yeah.
So we're working with flux lighting, and we're doing these track lighting, but they have these barn doors on them. So it's really going to be illuminated on the wood surfaces, but these barn doors will allow for this to be dark. So like I can move in and it can be brightly illuminated, my face or in the food and everything. But if I move back, it'll be that nice soft tone.
Well, that'll be
like the Staples Center in basketball.
Watch that crowd.
There's only two arenas in the NBA that do it, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, but really want to transfer the colors of the food and the drink that I think is lost in so many restaurants. Like we used to have steaks sent back by people because they thought it was like medium well, and then it comes back to the kitchen and it's medium rare. It's
table is the stage.
Yeah,
ingredients are the players.
So I really think a lot's lost. So we're really putting a little bit more money into the lighting.
Excellent. When can we expect it to be open? When a tentative date or?
Well, we're saying April 15th, around there. Definitely not before, but end of April, let's say.
We can't wait.
Yeah,
and then going to be a lot of
and then there's a takeout window too. So
yeah.
really making to me a high-end service and high-end food experience, but delivered in a super casual environment
and a fairly decent price from what I recall.
I hope so,
around
yeah.
a $5 price point or something. Per,
well, it's like $4 for taco, and then most things under 10. But then the raw food, because of the quality of the seafood that we're using, it's going to have to be up or around 15, 16 kind of stuff. I think people will.
I also noticed that you're big on the using seafood that is sustainable as well.
Totally,
right?
yeah. Like we got hooked up with this great fisherman Frank from Organic Oceans in BC.
Yeah.
So we have a direct phone to boat kind of relationship.
That's awesome. Always nice
Frank,
and fresh.
where's Frank on the sea right now? Let's get him on.
He just sent me a picture of his new boat, actually.
Oh, really?
So it's halibut season starting, so he's going to be up there.
That is halibut season. You're right.
Halibut cheeks.
What about can you talk about drinks? Are you going to be focusing much on cocktails? Or, special beers at all, or
local beers?
Local beers for sure. Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely. You we have to, and then a couple of canned kind of from wherever else, but. The buzzwords I'm using is tacos, like crudo, raw, and tequila. We really want to focus on some tequila. So, and then some bourbon too, because I like bourbon. But not a big drink list. Just maybe like 4 or 5 specialties, but really good drinks. And
good tequilas.
Good tequilas.
Good.
And small wine list, but just well thought out. Small doesn't have to be bad.
No, absolutely not.
Small and beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so there you have it. Matt Carmichael from El Camino, opening soon. I think around April 15th. Let's hope it's around then.
Yeah,
ready for the
don't
summer.
quote me on that.
Hopefully the snow goes away. We'll just quickly go through some events going on this weekend. Tonight we got hip hop karaoke at Babylon. Always a great time.
Yeah, Ottawa Home Show's happening right now and all weekend long. So
at the Ernst & Young Center. That's always good. The Auto Show, if you're into cars. I'm not, but
that's at the
Convention
Center.
Yep. And Lute Choir and Callie Matson and many more are playing at Mavericks on Saturday. You'll probably see me there. That's a great lineup. It's also NCAA Final
March Madness games are starting. They've started.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Anything on the go for you guys this weekend?
Oh, you know what? Nature Nocturne on Friday.
That's right. That's the other.
Oh, there you go.
Where's third edition?
So it's an all-night or till midnight, anyways, dance party at the Museum of Nature.
Oh, that's right. This would be what, the third?
It's gonna be the third one. And actually, I gotta head back to the office because our office is putting on an interactive exhibit with some DJs. So DJ Rain, DJ Jazz Nasty, Adam Sakeley, and VJ Ina. Ina, yeah.
The door is going to be, the lineup's taken care of a lot better than it was.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better. There's going to be more bars. Our exhibit's going to be on the 4th floor, and there's going to be actually a bar right outside there, bar and food. So hopefully it'll be running smoothly, and if it's not, you can yell at me.
So you go there and you can walk throughout the entire museum.
Most of the museum will be open.
There'll
be 2 main dance floors. One is DJ T-Dot on the main atrium doing more pop hits.
Yeah.
And then the one will be the one that we're running on the 4th floor, and it'll be actually some pretty cool animal footage synchronized to music. So VJ Ina, Camille Zara, is going to be doing the video VJing, and then the rest of the DJs, DJ Greg Rain, Jazz Nasty, and Adam Sake, will be doing the music part. So it actually will be an interesting science communication exhibit, if you will.
How much are tickets?
I think tickets are about $20. You can get them in advance online.
Or
at the door. There's some at the door as well.
Perfect. That sounds great. So thank you so much for Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. We're going to change it up a bit next week. It's tax time.
Yay, taxes.
Yay, taxes. So we have your resident tax accountant coming up next week, and some great music as well. So we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Run the thing that DJ. Let it get the people them born great, people them die great, you see me? Let me tell you something right now, me a born champion, you see me? You can't touch me. Praise John in the air, put your hands in the air, you see me? Ra, 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 king in the world. Can't touch me. Bad man thing, see me? Champion, boom, born great, die great, champion, boom, 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 boom.
As I walk into the building, all I see is children masqueraded into muscle men, but skinny boys killing them. Oh, this fit is rappers like abortion clinic. They say it's not the weapon, but the man that uses. I suggest don't get too closer if you're just a timid. Cause me, I'm boiling hot and then you just tip it. Ribbit. He's jumping like a frog, so I gently kick him. Fuck, I am a monster with a little bit of fashion. If I don't get too close, oh, I eat you like Asians. For the information, I've been patiently waiting to kill these ladies, but my mama said, hold up, son, have a little compassion. Aggression's not solution. Show them more, improve it. That you're the fucking man and you always be champion of the world, and you always believe that he can take a slave and make it to a king. He just took a slave and made it to a king. Tell him, boy, don't care what they say, and I'm a champion of the world. And if you doubt me, it only makes me want some more. Don't care what they say, and I'm a champion of the world. And if you doubt me, it only makes me want some more.
Fire burn the place, the room, burn down the thing. Fire!
Oh yeah, I'm alright. I'm waiting for the rest at the finish line. Hold up, I'm roll tight. Get gone tonight. And I know to be who I am. Step up to get where I stand. And rise up to be the last one. Get up, stand up, you'll be the champion. Don't care what they say. And I'm a champion of the world. And if you doubt me, it only makes me want some more. Don't care what they say. And I'm a champion of the world. And if you doubt me, it only makes me want some more. Champion. Yeah. Champion.
In the ghetto, you see me? People die every day, Mario die, people are sick tomorrow. We have to be born champion, you see me? We're champion out here, real killer, killer.
I'm a champion, boy, I'm a champion. 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 I'm a champion, boy, I'm a champion.